Good evening, Rubric family. How's everybody today? Once again, Jean Paul, Juanzo, ready for talk about the best thing in the world, professional wrestling, and we're very excited that we're still debuting our new look. So we just want to know how you guys like it. We put a lot of effort. We want to shout out first of all the shout outs that are going to do in this episode. Nikolai Egek, once again, thank you for the beautiful look that we have. We really appreciate all the love that you give us. So another shout outs that I'm going to do before we start, thanking all the new members of our family. I want to thank Andrew. I want to thank Dakota. I want to thank DJ. I want to thank also Mega Run, great rapper, and he does some music for like video games. He did the soundtrack for Mortal Kombat, I think he did. And thank you for being a member of the family. Thank you to Will Balderas and his tag team. We're working something out with this guy, so thank you so very much. Thank you to Dina Marnenis, another one. Welcome to the family. Thank you to all of you that have been watching us, and we truly, truly appreciate it. It means the world, every single one that is joining to our family. So, Jean Paul, NXT, that's what it's our turn to talk about. So, let's get to it. Let's start the show. We had the beginning of it. Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley came out. She starts like talking about the possible challengers and how happy she is for what happened like 3 weeks ago when she won the championship. She's like, well, this moment will be unforgettable for me, and it will always stay in my head. Out of nowhere, Tony Storm comes out. Tony Storm,
Yeah, Tony
everybody's like,
Storm, your babe.
oh yeah, like I was so excited, like and the look that she had, that was hot, hot, hot,
Mhm.
hot, hot. You know, that was muy caliente, all right, muy caliente. So the girl was like absolutely beautiful, and we're gonna be covering NXT Blackpool on Sunday, so that was a nice preview. Tony Storm comes out, like I said, and she congratulated Rhea, and then she reminded her of how she beat her twice. So it's like, yeah, like congrats, but remember, like the last two times that you and me were in the same ring, I walked out with gold. So then the NXT UK champion comes out. Then Leah
Kaylee
Kaylee
Ray.
Kaylee
Yep.
Ray. She comes out and she's like, because well, Tony Storm says I'm gonna be Tony Two Belts, and everybody Tony Two Belts,
Yeah, and
Tony
that's
Two
the one.
Belts.
I didn't know that that match was going to be a champion versus champion, like a winner take all. And they didn't really like. I did. Did they like? Did Morrow or somebody say anything like, "Oh, like was that like made official"? I didn't really
No,
hear
no, no.
anything. That's what I mean. It was just kind of in that promo, from what I heard.
Yeah, like it's kind of like it was implied in the promo, but I don't think
Yeah,
it is. You know what I mean? I think there was
yeah,
like kind of like I guess Tony Storm maybe just said that just to like pump the promo to hype it up
mhm.
even more. But I
and
highly doubt
yeah,
that the match is going to be for the title.
because I just want to say before we continue, you got promote like New Japan. Obviously, you have Naito. He's a double champion. Becky, was a double champion. People are saying Asuka two belts if Asuka beats Becky at the Rumble. So there's a lot of this dual champion, but I feel that would not be smart. That would the NXT women's division wouldn't be that would be probably the least best to do a two belt champion because then what are the UK women fighting for?
Oh no, yeah, yeah. I don't
If
know.
like
I just
if Rhea wins, because obviously you're not going to take the NXT championship off of Rhea. So if she wins, what's she going to carry both belts? And then what? Then what did the UK women fight for? So to me, like
yeah, no. It's
I hope
just
that's not the case. Or if it is, maybe the match ends in a DQ or ends some kind of screwy finish or something. But we'll see.
what I feel that like if they will have that match at Worlds Collide, so of
Mhm.
course Robert will be covering that. Just no pun intended, but if they have that match, it's just gonna be champion versus champion, but no title involved. It's
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm really
champions
hoping for.
involved.
Yeah.
No title. It's just gonna be a singles match, no title defense whatsoever. I think the Worlds Collide theme is more like brand supremacy. So it's like
Oh
what
yeah,
NXT
definitely.
is better,
Oh,
UK or
definitely. Yeah.
the American or the regular NXT.
Mhm.
So and well, Kaylee Ray comes out. She's like, well, this is not gonna happen. This is you're
Mhm.
completely talking nonsense here. You're talking BS, bullcrap, all of
Mhm.
that, baloney. Why? Because like I'm gonna keep my title and I'm gonna walk out champion when NXT Blackpool is all said and done. So then we get Io Shirai coming out, and I know you're a big fan of the Japanese culture. Like, do you like when they start cutting the promos in Japanese?
Yeah, I do because that's like a thing. Like if I watch New Japan and like Jericho did his press conference in English. You know how I'm sure a couple of the reporters and people knew what he was saying, but there's probably some who had no clue.
Yeah,
So like
yeah. So
that's what I
like,
like. I like and then like the same thing with Asuka, Kyrie Sane, all them. I like and same like Andrade, not going to a different language in Spanish. Rey Mysterio, he mixes in Spanish and English. Like I like that. I think it's cool. Like it doesn't have to be, and that's what's like legit about America. Not to get too political. Like you have the whole mixing pot. You have all these different races and different backgrounds, ethnicities, and it's like legit when they all mix together.
mixing pot. Yeah, that's
So
what it is.
yeah,
And I
so
went.
like I think it's cool, and I mean, again, like the only thing I picked up that I knew she said was Ichiban, which means number one. So she was probably saying that she's the number one woman in that division.
Oh, see, but there you go. See, Jean
Yeah, so
Paul, you can teach me
that's the
because
only
I
thing I
didn't
picked up.
understand. I didn't
Yeah,
understand Jack. Okay, I
yeah,
didn't understand Jack. So all I understood, she said something, and then she got to like the next person that came out.
yeah. Well, the one thing she did say, she did look at the belt and she screamed "mine."
Yes,
So like
mine.
the
Yeah,
belt is mine. Yeah.
yeah. So the bell is mine. Yeah. So and well, talking about Io Shirai, Robre covers absolutely everything.
Mhm.
So what are your thoughts, Jean Paul, about this? No, this news that like Io Shirai is actually unhappy with the WWE
Yeah.
because she's engaged with Devil from New Japan. And she has to like move fly back and forth to Japan in the States because to spend time with her fiance. So
Well,
there's
yeah. I mean,
rumors
and
that
he.
just let me tell the
Yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah,
rumor.
yeah.
The whole rumor is that like she's actually gonna be moved up to the main roster because in the main roster supposedly the wrestlers can make more money. So they're
Mhm.
gonna do that so they can pay her more, and that way she doesn't go to Stardom to be with her family and with her fiance. So what is Jean Paul Egg thought on
Well,
this
I know
situation?
obviously it's not the exact same situation with Kyrie Sane, but I know they said the same thing. And it's Stardom is like apparently offering them a boatload of money. So it's like, what are they gonna do? The only thing I don't know, you said Devil, or what did you say his name is?
Neville.
Her fiance?
Neville.
Yeah. Like I don't know what his position is in New Japan, if that's where you said he wrestles, what he if they have a lot of stock in him, but WWE, they could now I feel like if they lose her to Stardom, I mean, there's a chance then she could go to AEW, but I mean, I feel like WWE would rather lose her there. But like, why not bring him in? Bring him to NXT. Her
I don't like I
fiance.
said like I don't think
Like, I don't.
he's
Yeah,
that popular. I don't think he's that
yeah.
popular because we would have
But
been talking about him in a Wrestle Kingdom
mm,
review that you
yeah,
guys can see on our channel.
the
But
only thing the only thing I will say though is like NXT. Like, I love Io Shirai. She's legit in the ring. And the heel turn, like heel face. She's just legit. But if they lose her, it'll suck. But it won't be that bad just because of how loaded their division is. But you
yeah,
still don't want to see her lose because there's all she's the main event. One of the main event players in the women's division. She has the great feud with Candice and everything that's still kind of unfinished. So there's like a lot to go. So I hope she doesn't leave, but I mean, that's the thing. Money talks, and relationships, family, all that stuff is important too.
when it comes to those things, it's pretty much just like you got to put things in a scale and just be
Mhm.
like, what do I want more, or what is like what benefits me more? Being in the WWE, get all this exposure, mainstream all over the world, or do
Mhm.
I want to be with my fiance and maybe make as much money, but not get the same amount of exposure, or
Yeah.
maybe reach some goals in my career, like a main event of WrestleMania. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like have a
Yeah.
marquee match in a big event like she did with the Survivor Series. All I know is that if they lose Io Shirai, I will be kind of heartbroken because I'm a big fan of Io.
Mhm.
So hopefully that it doesn't happen. Hopefully they end up breaking up. Not that I'm intending to do that, but
No,
that
no, like I
opens the
said, I
door
mean,
for
yeah,
Juan as
just
well.
hopefully, yeah, hopefully it all works out.
Hopefully
But
it all works out. So moving along, Bianca Belair comes out and see the chance of the EST chance. Like the one thing that made me laugh really, it just made me like lose my stuff right there because it was like she goes when she's talking to Tony Storm. She's like, "You're not even from here." It's like you're not
yeah,
even. It's like, what are
you
you
don't
doing?
even. Yeah, she's like, you don't even go here. That's like a
Yeah,
Mean Girls reference or whatever movie that is. Yeah.
yes, yeah, it's like you don't even go here. Like so, I love Bianca Belair's attitude. Like she
Mhm.
plays her character so well.
Oh
So
yeah,
they were
her and
fighting.
her. So when we're talking about fiancés, her Montez Ford, both of them are so legit. I feel like I love Montez Ford and
Yeah.
Bianca Belair. She's just as badass.
Oh yeah, like yeah, she says yeah, you don't even yeah, she said that reference, you don't even go here, and then Ripley, like they start punching each other. They go at each other, and right away we get the announcement by William Regal that they're gonna have a 6-man tag. Because also Candice LeRae showed up. And
Hmm.
Candice was like, well, what about like what's going on here? Don't leave me out of this thing. And they all started brawling, and we get to a 6-man tag. So pretty much the match was like started out with Candice. Like the whole match was pretty much Candice
Yeah,
from like
the
the
main
baby
story
faces.
is she was just beat down. She couldn't make the tag, and then eventually, was able to make the tag to again your woman Tony Storm.
That's right. That's right. And then Tony started like like starting like the big tag. Started to cleaning house, but Kaylee Ray and Bianca, they were like stopping her and everything. And then Io Shirai was also part of the mix. But then there's the miscommunication right there.
Hmm.
There's a miscommunication between Shirai and Bianca Belair. And then Shirai actually did a springboard dropkick onto Bianca Belair. And then she's like, "What?" Bianca's like, what's going on? What are you doing?" And then
Because Shirai, she hit the huge like that Meteora double knee like Andrade does in the corner, went up for
yeah,
that moonsault, and Bianca wanted the glory because to me that's the feud. Now it's like you got Bianca and Io. That's gonna be a feud, and then they're eventually gonna move that. The winner could maybe challenge for the women's championship or something at some point. So she went up for that moonsault. Bianca was like, "No, I don't think so." She tagged herself in, like you said. Shirai was like, "Screw this!" Hit that drop kick on Bianca, and then Tony was able to tag Rhea and Riptide and done.
Riptide and Dan. So like nice, showing for all these women. That was
Mhm.
really good. The match again was like kind of like it was nice. I enjoyed it, especially to see like a Tony Storm and Kylie Ray, just because like they're still hyping Blackpool.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
it.
really
Yeah,
interesting.
this match hyped a lot of stuff. Worlds Collide, Blackpool, Portland. It hyped a lot of stuff.
This
Uh,
show did a
yeah,
lot. This show did a lot. So it was really interesting to to see that whole thing because it's gonna be. I'm really looking forward for that match. I'm a big fan of Piper Niven. I'm a big fan of Tony Storm and Kylie Ray. All right, is the champion,
yeah.
but hopefully
The
the
only thing
match turns
that's
out legit.
Yeah, the I agree with you. The only thing that scares me with that is because it's a triple threat now. Tony, Piper Niven, and Kaylee Ray is I'm scared that Piper Niven's just gonna take the pin.
I hope
You
not.
know what I mean? I feel like that's a thing. Like when it was like Baron Corbin, AJ Styles had a for the United States Championship, and then all of a sudden Ty Dillinger was added. It's like,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
he was just added just to take the pin. Like I don't
yeah.
like when they do that. It's like, that would be something maybe if Tony takes the pin, but then you don't want Tony to look weak. But like, I mean, or Kaylee Ray, like, I mean, she's the one who should be pinned, but
Yeah,
you know,
I
it's
will
hard to
go
say
like
what they're
my
gonna do.
my God will go. I will go with Piper Niven. I will go with
And it,
Piper
yeah,
Niven
I think
because
it's
she
her time.
deserves her
Yeah.
her spot in the sun. You know what I mean? In
Mhm.
spotlight, I just like her. Like she's a really great wrestler, and we will say okay, yeah, she might be not as the other the women wrestlers, but she can pull any move.
Yeah,
Very
but
crisp.
see that's just the thing. WWE has over the years they conditioned us to like back in from the early days up until the days of Bailey and Sasha. The only thing women were just like the Barbie dolls, and they didn't
Yes.
wrestle. Now we're seeing
Yes.
women of all shapes and sizes, and it doesn't matter because they're legit.
Oh yeah, and for example, like let's talking about beautiful women. Piper Niven is absolutely beautiful.
Mhm.
So it's beauty and on the same time skill.
Mhm.
You can tell she's a beautiful woman, but also a very skillful wrestler. Same thing you could say about Rhea Ripley. Same thing about Tony Storm.
Mhm.
These are women that know how to wrestle. So
Exactly.
moving along, Mister Egg, Forgotten Sons versus Imperium, first round Dusty Rhodes Classic, legit match, and we get the very first match of this thing, and I was really excited about all of this. This tournament actually have legit tags.
Yeah,
Every
that's yeah.
single bracket is really really good.
Yeah, I
So
feel
I
like
was
this is because, like you said, the whole brand supremacy thing, which NXT's better, they're really hyping that up. And here again in the Dusty Classic, and this is what might even be the best Dusty Classic of all. You have
probably.
Imperium, Undisputed Era, the Forgotten Sons. Yeah, that's their name and that's their gimmick, but I don't forget about them because look at how they are in this match. Wesley
Yeah,
Blake is legit. Who's the other one? Cutler or whatever?
Cutler. Yeah.
Yeah, he's legit too,
Oh yeah. And
and
Blake was actually, remember, he was tag champs with Buddy
yeah.
Murphy. and
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss when Alexa Bliss used to manage them.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was, yeah, we like you said, they're not forgotten by us, although they're then the name of the team is a little like I don't know if I like it that much, but the match started out with two teams very strong. Blake nailed a DDT before Agner, and Cutler went at it. Then Cutler hit a butterfly backbreaker and got a 2 count before transitioning right into a Boston Crab. Really good spot. I really
Hmm.
enjoyed it. Match flowing out really well. They continue with a fast-paced action, and Blake made a blind tag as Cutler was sent out into the ring. Blake hit a lariat on Barthel, and then Barthel got his knees up on a moonsault of the ropes. This was one move after another one really, really quick. That I
Oh
got
my
that in
God.
my notes.
These guys were like I said, this was maybe like, I don't know how long was this match. I don't think even think it was 10 minutes. It was very short, but
Probably
they were
7, 8 minutes.
but these guys were like fired out of a cannon. It was nonstop from bell to bell. It was like you said, move after move after move. Like they probably went back as soon as they got through Gorilla. They were probably so gassed because
Oh
it was
yeah.
like there wasn't no rest holds. Like you said, it was tag team moves. You go up for a DDT or they do like a combination suplex, backbreakers, a double drop kick. Like there's all this stuff. Boom, 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 and it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
But
Like it
it
was.
was a great opening match for the Dusty Classic.
Oh yeah, and like I said to you, I'm very excited because all the amount of the teams, and like
Mhm.
they're all legit. They're
Yeah.
very good teams. They all have like the stocks are really high on each bracket. So
Hmm.
who comes out the winner is really interesting to see each week. Next
Yeah,
week we're gonna
exactly.
have even like the old NXT UK champions. We're
Mhm.
gonna have both of them, the last two tag team champions before the ones that we have right now, and we have the Bruiser one, the Bruiser.
The
What is it? The
broser
bro weight.
the broser weight, I think he
The
calls
browser
them.
weights with
Yeah.
like your boy Matt
Yep.
Riddle and Pete Dunne, and that was well. Before let's finish to this and let's go to
Uh,
that promo with Matt Riddle. And the end of the match is Imperium got the pinfall with a European powerbomb.
yeah, that's like the European uppercut into the power bomb, which is a
Yeah,
legit. I mean it's to me that's a pretty legit finisher. Like it looks cool, and both like Fabian Eichner and Marcel
Martel.
Barthel, yeah, like they're both so legit, and that's it. Like the one thing I feel, and it's myself included. I don't watch NXT UK besides some highlights here and there, and then the pay per views, the takeovers. But they have such a talented roster over there. If you only watched NXT UK, you'd still be watching fantastic wrestling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like you said, like there's so much wrestling that sometimes it's
Yeah.
really difficult to keep up. But when we watch the highlights, for example, we'll be covering Blackpool and
Mhm.
Imperium is probably, the one thing is like Worlds Collide is going to be such a good pay per view just because you have the two best staples in professional wrestling right now.
Mhm.
Imperium NXT UK, Undisputed Era NXT America. The theme song from the Imperium is so good. It's
Oh,
such a
it's
like
so
old
legit.
those classics from like the times from Bach, from Beethoven or Mozart, but it's just like it brings that like that high supremacy, that high
Oh
class,
yeah.
that blue
I
blood.
I
I mean, like
100% agree.
like
Yep.
the kind of like your family because
Mhm.
you're blue
Yeah,
blood,
there's Jean,
Jean
yeah,
Paul
Jean
Ek.
Paul. Yep.
Yeah, you're Jean Paul, so like the kind of like that for me will be unheard of. But for you, blue blood, it
Mhm.
is very known. So it kind of reminds you of all your family and ancestry, you
Mhm.
know. And it reminds me when I was actually being dominated by your kind.
Yeah.
But let's move on for
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
well, let's move on to time styles that
Yeah.
we both consider equal. So legit match, first opening round, really
Mhm.
legit. Debuted Austin Theory against Joaquin Wild or Joaquin.
Oh, I was gonna say the Matt Riddle. We touched on it a little bit. The
Give me
when
the
he yeah
Madrid.
yeah the bruiser. So that who is it? Kathy Kelly. Yeah,
Kathy
she was
Kelly.
in. Yeah, she was interviewing him, and this was funny. Like they add the little laugh tracks in there to make it funny. It was like, how did this team happen? And this is a sleeper favorite of mine. I like when because, like he said, this is in the spirit of the Dusty Classic. I like when they take two random guys. Like how many years ago it was Samoa Joe and Finn Balor.
And Finn
Nobody
Balor,
thought
yeah.
that was going to be a team. They became a team. Finn Balor got hurt. Samoa Joe carried him through the tournament, and they won. So I like when they just take random guys, put them together, and that's the team. And Matt Riddle was saying, that's in the spirit of the tournament. He's like, how did it happen? I walked up to him. He's like, I'm a bro. You're a bruiserweight. Let's do this. And he's like, he just gave me the Pete Dunne. And he's like, I gave him the Matt Riddle. and with the broser weights were born. And
The
like I mean,
Broserweights.
yeah, like and both of those guys, like you might not like Matt Riddle's gimmick, you might not like him, like you said, it looks like he's coming out in his underwear and everything. But when the dude's in the ring and the bell goes, all bets are off. He's legit. I would not want to step.
Transformation
Yeah,
happens.
I would not want to
Transformation.
step, and he's a legit shooter. He's a UFC fighter. I would not want to step in the ring with that cat. You know what I mean? Everything aside, Matt Riddle is 100% legit. Pete Dunne right there with him. So that's why this team to me, later on in the night, I'll tell you, or in the review, I'll tell you my favorite team to win it. But this is definitely my second favorite. I
I
think
will
the
say
best
like
choice.
it wouldn't surprise me if they win
Mm-hmm.
because like I'm hoping that it doesn't happen. Like, see, this is kind of like me, like doing a Jean Paul thing, booking long term. I hope that like neither one of them turn on the other, and then we
Oh
get
no!
like a feud going in Matt
Oh
Riddle
no!
with
No!
Pete Dunne. Hopefully not, but
Mm,
like I really like the idea, like you said, like putting two people like that they completely like opposite ends, but just because like Bro and Bruiserweight like it kind
mm,
of goes along. So it's really cool. It's really
yeah.
cool. Matt Riddle, I'm still hoping for your sake to see that interaction with Brock Lesnar in the
Mm-hmm.
Royal Rumble. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
see. We'll see where that
Yeah.
goes.
I want him.
Interesting.
Yeah, for me, he's my pick to win the Royal Rumble. Him or Keith Lee. That's who I want to see win, an NXT
Hopefully.
guy. But Keith Lee,
Oh,
he might not be leaving as like I thought. Which again, we'll get to later on in the review.
well, yeah, we have all the time in the world because remember, this is our show and this is the podcast that matters. Moving along, Austin Theory once again against Joaquin Phoenix. No, Joaquin Wild. Yeah, for the ones that like watch the Golden Globes. No, yeah, this match was very quick. I think it's
Mhm.
like a big showing for Austin Theory. Like his
Oh
brand
yeah.
new to NXT and everything is just to make him
Mhm.
look good. Possible. What do you think? Maybe like a cruiserweight with Angel Garza or something along those lines. Maybe all be we. I know we have Keith Lee for the North American Championship, but maybe they're brewing him to like go and be in those rivalries with the North American Championship all the line later on. I mean,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah. And Austin Theory, like you said, he gets the win here, the jumpy TKO, and it was a great showcase for him. This dude is 22 years old. Like he's 5 years younger than me. Look at what this cat's doing in the ring. He is insane. If you would have told me he was wrestling for 10 years, I'd believe it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? He is so legit. All of his moves look so good. We saw that great showcase. What was that? 2 weeks ago?
yes,
Uh,
2 weeks
with
ago.
uh, with Roderick
We saw it
Strong.
with Roderick Strong. Yes.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
was a fantastic match. That was literally the only thing you should have watched on that episode of NXT. That was the only thing
Yeah.
worth watching. But he's just so talented. And like you said, I don't know what his weight is, and I don't know if they still do the 205 and under for the cruiserweights. But I would love to see that match with him and Leo Rush, regardless whether he fits into the cruiserweight or not. I want to see this guy wrestle anybody. Adam
Oh yeah.
Cole, Keith Lee, Dijakovic, Champa, anybody. He's the
There.
sky. The sky's the limit for him. Like legit, watching this match, I'm like NXT is so loaded. Women's division, the only thing they're lacking is tag teams. But they did create a new tag team tonight,
Oh
which
yeah, they did like with
that's
that,
my.
and see like they create and like you said, they have the ability to like they have so much roster, so
Mhm.
much depth in that roster that they created a tag team from two awesome and so popular singles guys.
Mhm.
So that's how like and see that's when you see the wrestling mind, the wrestling psychology of Triple H, Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, JJ, your favorite JJ, Jeff Jarrett. You see all these guys putting their minds together. Maybe I don't even know if Road Dogg is still there, but
Yeah.
like we better call somebody, and then he shows up, and
Yeah.
let's put these guys right there. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Was.
So he gets the win, and like I said, they're brewing this guy to be the next big thing because we don't
Mhm.
know what's gonna happen. WrestleMania time. A lot of people are gonna be called up to the main roster. So many things can happen. So we'll see. But like
Yeah,
this
and if
guy
they
is
still
already
do, and
putting
if
good
they,
stuff.
yeah, and if they still are going with the 10, 10, and 10 for the Royal Rumble,
Hmm.
who knows which 10 they choose from NXT? Austin Theory could be one of those guys because I don't think we're going to see like a Finn Balor or a Champa or an Adam Cole. It's probably going to be there'll be some main event guys, but it'll mostly be the mid card guys. I feel so like that could be a showcasing for Austin Theory to be in the Royal Rumble.
Oh
Obviously not
yeah,
gonna win it, but he could have a good showing.
he could
So,
have
and,
a
and
good
and that's
showing.
and
So
that's and that's really what I'm hoping they do to get these guys over. Him, Dijakovic, Cameron Grimes, people like that.
if you give them, like a few eliminations, that would be cool, don't you think? Like for example,
Oh
like
yeah,
hey, or like for example, wouldn't you appreciate an interaction like Mustafa Ali and Austin Theory?
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
That
like
would be an
that would be
interaction,
so
right?
cool. Yeah, or Chad Gable, anybody like that.
Shorty, Shorty G and all of that stuff, but it will be nice. Like you said, like it will be good to see guys the same size and they can go at it, and you can
Mhm.
actually see legit wrestling. So we could
Exactly.
actually benefit from those things. Moving along, Mister Egg, second match of the first round of the Dustin Classic, we have Undisputed Era against Gallus. So very nice match. Here, I mean, it's difficult when you have to do these things. Why? Because both of them were the tag team champions. So we
Yeah,
have
but
champion against champion.
then like obviously, like you said, champion versus champion. Maybe didn't think this was going to be an opening round match, for the tournament, but
Yeah,
it was a great match. Fantastic. Both teams are so legit. Again, this we haven't seen Gallows like a whole lot. I know myself. I seen them like I said, just the takeovers. There's extremely legit. And you said, how do you protect somebody? Well, that's the thing. Gallows is 2-man. Undisputed Era is 4-man. That's how you do it. Because you knew if once Undisputed Era looks like they're gonna lose, it's gonna be Roddy or Adam Cole is gonna be coming out and doing something to make the save, and that
yeah, they're gonna
also
be
again
helping
keeps
out. They gotta help out. They
it
gotta
keeps
help
the
out.
heel heat, and it makes even though Gallows loses, it makes them look not as weak because there
Oh
was a
yeah,
screwy finish.
absolutely. So let's start like we Wolgan started out by charging both Fish and O'Reilly to take them down and start the offensive. He continued to fight Kylie before Coffee took the tag. Then Fish took the tag and delivered a knee strike to turn things around for himself. Then let's move on to another spot in the match. Mark Coffee tagged back in and hit a body slam before continuing the abuse on O'Reilly. Wolgan tagged in and he hit a flying senton for the 2 count. Then the Undisputed Era was knocked off the apron as they had a standoff before going to commercial. After commercial, then Undisputed Era was isolating Wolf. Then they hit a double kick for a 2 count. Fish continued to work on Wolfgang until he was able to come back with a slam, but O'Reilly jumped into the top for Wolf from getting to Coffee. Then the last sequence of the match, then Coffee hit a dive to the outside on the Undisputed Era, but then Adam Cole distracted Wolf, and then they hit an insecurity.
Yeah,
Adam
the
Cole
insecurity.
dives.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hits an insecurity, and then the Undisputed Era did their finisher, and
The
that was
high
it.
low.
The
Yep.
high low. That
Yep. Or
reminds me of
or for the ECW fans, total elimination.
Total Elimination with
Yep.
our
We gotta
great
say it like
friend
Joey
and never
Styles.
forgotten
hmm
Perry Saturn.
Yep. And
So
John Perry Saturn and John Cronus.
that's right.
Legit.
So
Yep.
yeah, of course they got to do the same finishers of other
hmm
tag teams, but that's a story of
hmm
that's other story. But the match itself, very 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 solid. But like you said, difficult to put this match in the first round. That's
yeah.
one of the things you will save this for maybe the semifinal, something that you can see one of them advance. Okay, the other one because both of them are champions. And the
hmm
one thing is like, how do you make your champ look good when they have to defend those titles? I mean, for Gallus, they have to defend those titles on Sunday on at Blackpool. So what do
Yeah.
you?
So, but that's the thing. You had Adam Cole come out. He caused the distraction. What did was he? Is he? Did he hit the Insiguri?
Yes, he
Or
hit
what
an
did? Yeah.
insecurity
Yeah.
on
So
on
that's
Gang.
the thing. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. So like you had this. In the Adam Cole came down. He caused interference and all that stuff. So it's a screwy finish. It wasn't legit. So to me, they're not hurt too bad. And obviously, then if they win Sunday, it kind of just you forget about this because they weren't going to have the Undisputed Era lose. And this could be something, who does the Undisputed Era move on to face? Maybe, you have Coffee, maybe Gallows comes down and they like, screw this. And then they kind of cause Undisputed Era the win in their next round match. So you can always do something like that. But, like we said, one team had to win and the Golden Boys in NXT are, the Undisputed
they
Era.
have
So,
to advance. You're right, and like for example, that would be a really big upset if Gallus would have won instead of
yeah,
the
because
Undisputed
I
Era
think
because
also
everybody's
that,
so familiar with the Undisputed
yeah.
Era.
Another thing, they're really promoting the Worlds Collide. So that'll be a thing, because it's the Undisputed Era versus Imperium. So you also don't want to have them lose, Undisputed Era lose, because then to go against uh
Imperium
Imperium, like how would
when
that
they
look?
won, when they
Yeah.
advanced. Yeah, so it's like see that the one thing is like NXT has so much depth in those rosters once again
Mhm.
that they made them so difficult for themselves to even
Yeah.
book.
It's the same thing like AEW. We like we had the Lucha Bros and the Rhodes Brothers. It's like, yeah, it's good to see Dustin and Cody get the win, but what about the Lucha Bros? When you have so much talent that no one's considered a jobber, it's like, well, who do you choose to lose?
Oh yeah,
It's
like
tough. You know what I mean? It's
now,
tough.
yeah, great review by the way, guys. Jean Paul talking about AEW. My thoughts on that match. I think that like the Lucha Bros needed to win in this one just because like okay, Dustin and Cody are not a regular tag team, and
Hmm.
for me like the ones that are a regular tag team should be our power. The ones that
Yeah.
are not. I mean, Cody and Goldust, yeah, they were, or Dustin, they were champs in WWE, but that was like what, like 6, 7 years ago. So for
Mhm.
me, I think that like you need to like make it in this kind of situations when both of your tag teams are so known and so over the crowd, you gotta do kind of like a 50-50 booking here.
Mhm.
So it's just my thoughts on
Or
that.
yeah, and or like because how we saw in this match, Cole came down, Insiguri caused Gallows the win. That would have been something you had SCU come down and cause the Lucha Bros the win and continue that feud.
Yes, because
You
like
know what I mean? Like because
Pentagon
at
did that
least yeah,
on Christopher Daniels.
yeah. So at least in NXT, when they make a team lose like this, they don't look as bad. But
Yeah, they protect more than, or for example,
yeah,
I would
yeah, like you said, they
if you were
protect
gonna
them.
have Cody and Dustin go in, I would have done something with Arn Anderson.
Hmm.
He would have messed something with Ray Phoenix or with Pentagon, and it would be a lot more easy to digest for me. But
Yeah.
moving along, we have Johnny Wrestling. Johnny Gargano comes out, and then he
Mhm.
says he's been waiting a long, long, long time to get a live mic, so he can talk about Finn Balor. He's not wanting to take anything away, but what he did to him. He put Johnny Takeover out for 3 months, but that's in the past, and your future is the past, and Finn's future is standing in the ring because he didn't finish the job on the ramp. Then Gargano talks trash about Balor, making him jump out to the main roster, but Gargano stay. When I say I love this place, I actually mean it. See
Mm.
that? That's what we say about Robert and our family.
Yep.
When we say we love you guys, we actually mean it. So Johnny said he picked up the NXT where Balor dropped it and he flew it into the freaking outer space and we took this place to new heights without you. He said he then laid Finn behind and it eats him alive that they didn't need Finn Balor to succeed. So finally Balor comes out and see, Jean Paul, I gotta tell you, this is probably the best promo that Finn Balor has ever hit for me.
Hmm.
I never seen that much intensity and actually I didn't believe his words as much as I did this promo.
Yeah, he's
This
really
one for
yeah.
me is from the heart.
Yeah, and but before you get into like the promo, like I just to go off what you said, the main roster, like if you watch Finn Balor, he's in NXT babyface all the way through. Gets to the main roster, and like Johnny Gargano said, I like the line where he was like, "Yeah, you went to the main roster and became an ordinary man who does extraordinary things," and he was like mocking him, like that was a legit line. And Finn Balor comes down here, and so now this is the first we're really seeing of the heel Finn Balor. And like you said, you thought this promo was the most legit he's ever cut, you know, and that's because he's really getting into that heel role. Now he's like comfortable with it. I feel he
Yeah,
knows what he wants to do, and that's what I hope we see. Heel Finn Balor for a long time. I don't want to see him turn face anytime soon because I'm loving the heel like solo act. He works with everybody, but nobody can trust him. He was with
yeah.
Undisputed Era, then he turned on them. Now like who's he with? He's his own man.
I even like how they call him the Prince. And I'm
Hmm.
about to like, they're gonna say Prince Devitt, but it's like the
Hmm.
Prince. No, pause Finn Balor.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
really cool. And he said, well, you should be called Johnny Promo because that's all the doctors will clear him for. Then he says that he'll wipe the smile of Gargano's face, and then he called him a rat, and that he's soft. And he said to quit crying about missing Takeover, and then go talk to William Regal and get a match at Takeover Portland if you make it that far. So they will have a match only if, and only if, underline, if they can clear Johnny Gargano. And
Hmm.
then next month in NXT Takeover Portland, they will have their announced and awaited match.
Now, when he said that, I did like when he said if you can make it there, because I feel like Gargano is already cleared to wrestle. So
Yeah,
my thing is now I'm thinking maybe we see, I don't know if there's going to be like a Bullet Club or something in NXT. Maybe they bring in somebody to team with Balor. Who's not to say Gargano just has some random match and you have guys beat the shit out of him some week and then Balor comes out, does the handguns, and it's like, there's a new Bullet Club. And then
See, that would
Gargano
be
has to
nice.
fight through the odds and then to get to Finn Balor at Portland, gets his win over Balor. That would be something I'd like to see. And that's the story I want to see. Because when he said that, I'm thinking, I don't want to just see Finn beat down Gargano up until Portland. I'd like to see him hire some goons, do something to help him. So I'm really looking forward to this storyline.
Looking forward to this. I really think, like you said, Finn Balor is finally immersed,
Hmm.
understands his role as a heel, and he's portraying himself acting like a real heel, which is
Hmm.
really good to see. Like I said, I never enjoy any of his promos as much as I did this one, because to me, like, and we said this before in all the time that we've been doing this show, being a heel is so much easier
Hmm.
because you can actually channel your inner frustrations, your inner bad,
Well,
moments.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. You can shoot. You can
Yeah,
go out there and you can say like legit what you feel. You don't have to hold back because I'm a good guy, and even though I'm frustrated with my role backstage, I'm a baby face, so I can't say that. But when you're a heel, you can go out there and say I've been screwed. I haven't gotten opportunities. You can say all this stuff, and
and
it's
yeah,
like and it blends the line of reality and a work. So that's
exactly. Like,
what's
so
really
you
cool.
you can use that. There's
Mhm.
like that thin line, but you can
Yep.
go back and forth. And you,
And,
for example, like he brings stuff from the past,
yep.
and oh yeah, like when you left NXT, you went from the main roster and you became a nobody pretty much because you got hurt. You won the Universal Championship, but never really defended.
Hmm.
After that, 3 years of nothing. So
And
I'm
all and
enjoying.
also that's the thing with Triple H. Like that's why I love Triple H and why I love NXT because he's not afraid to do that. He's not afraid to be a little PG-13 or like PG-13. He's not afraid to mention like stuff from New Japan, other promotions where the main roster is so like G-rated. It's so for kids. It's so just like I don't even know the word to describe it, like, produced. Where on NXT it's more raw, it's more real, it's more emotional. And
It's
that's
so
why I think
tame,
NXT,
don't
yeah.
you think?
Yeah, the main
Tame,
roster,
just to
yeah,
like,
they hold it back. They don't let the guys go out there and like, be themselves. But
can you
NXT,
cut can you cut a legit promo? No, just let's
mhm,
just use dog food.
yep,
Let's just use dog
exactly.
food. Have the Usos come out. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
that's gonna get us somewhere. I'm just saying. So moving along, Mr. Jean Paul, Mia Yim against Kaden Carter. So let's fast track a little bit. Good match though. Kaden Carter, like really decent wrestler. Like this is one of her first showings. I'm really
Hmm.
enjoying that. Mia Yim getting some wins because she needs this kind of exposure because of the thing that happened before War Games, and after that we haven't really seen much from her.
Yeah, we her and Dakota Kai had that, match where and then she hit that what was like a suplex or something off the
Yeah.
announce table or through the
Yes.
one table. So that was legit and we haven't, like you said, seen her since. And Kaden
And
Carter, I like her. She's another one where that women's division they got like I always say like in the NXT or AEW review, I said they have things on the back burner of the stove, on the back burner. They got things on the front burner, the back burner, the fridge, the freezer. They got so much stocked up. Their women's division is so loaded. They're set for years. And she's
they
talented, and we're seeing her in this role as like an enhancement talent. But in 2, 3 years from now, she'll probably be challenging for a belt because to me, she's a legit wrestler.
exactly, and then we're gonna go over with somebody that actually not that want to say debut, but like at least they're gonna start to promote. And on
Mm-hmm.
top of that, we have Santana Garrett that
Mm-hmm.
we've been talking about her. We have Scarlett Bordeaux that we
Mm-hmm.
haven't even seen. So
Yeah,
and
there's so
she's
many.
not,
Yeah.
she's not a bad wrestler. Okay, yeah, yeah. For the guys that know her, yeah, she's hot. We all know that. Okay, we're not mentioning that, but she's not a bad wrestler. She's not a
Mm-hmm.
Barbie doll. She looks like a Barbie doll, with the difference that she can wrestle.
Yeah.
So it was really good. So let's go to the final sequences of the match. Yim got a serve for submission, but Carter turned it into like a pinning situation for a 2 count. Mia nailed a chop into the corner, and then Carter started fighting back, and then she hit a running kick before doing a roll up, and then another kick to the face for a 2 count. Suddenly,
Mm-hmm.
Mia Yim hit a protect your neck as Carter
Yep.
jumped up to the top rope for the win. Protect your neck. So that's how she got the win. And, or like I said, she needed this win because
Mm-hmm.
we've been seeing Mia Yim in like a more main event level role. So she's not an enhancement anymore. But after the match, we get, like I said, the interference by Chelsea Green. And she
Yep.
attacks both of them. But see, the one thing I didn't like, Mia Yim right away, she just rolled out of the ring.
Yeah, that's. I think it was to make, because if she would have beat down Chelsea Green, how would that have looked? I think this was to just make Chelsea Green look strong, and like
Yeah.
this is her debut, and she had a manager, Robert Stone, which I don't know. I know you like Impact a little bit. You know more about Impact than me. He was a wrestler in Impact, Robbie E. I
She
don't
was
know if you
Robbie
know.
E.
Yeah.
Robbie E. Well, okay. Robbie E. was like very similar to what Matt Riddle is, but like
Mm,
like cool, like, like
yeah.
bro, like
Yeah.
broski, all of that. Like it was like okay. Robbie E. is a character that came from the Jersey Shore.
Hmm.
When the Jersey Shore, was like the show on MTV, was really popular, that's when like he came out with that character, that gimmick. Yeah, I'm cool. I get all the chicks. He's like he's like Zack Ryder and Matt Riddle. You just
Hmm.
you blend them, and that's what you get, Robbie E.
Okay.
So that's what he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Not a bad wrestler. He never
Hmm.
made it into like big heights, but he was a big member of the X division. That was like
Yeah.
cruiserweight division in the Impact.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean he's finally got another role. He's on NXT. Good for the guy.
Hmm.
He's his manager. He's gonna
Yeah, and
be
the
his
one
manager.
thing he did say that this was his first signing, so maybe he'll have some kind of stable. Is it just going to be women? Is he going to manage, men as well? Maybe some tag teams, maybe manage the Forgotten Sons or something, who knows? So that's what I'm interested to see, if he kind of puts a stable together or what he does, because he said this
And
was like his first signings.
and that would be nice, don't you think?
Hmm.
That would be
Yeah,
nice because
I
we
do.
haven't
'Cause
seen managers in
yeah,
such a long time.
I do like managers. The only manager I can really think of is, Heyman and Zelina Vega.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly,
But
and it would be cool, for example, to see manager against manager, staple
mhm,
against staple. That you could use those kind of concepts as Survivor Series. Five
exactly.
guys from you. That's what they used to do back in the day when it will be Bobby Heenan against Jimmy Hart, or you will
Oh, you
have
had like
Mr.
Mr.
Fuji,
Fuji. Yep.
Mr.
You had
Fuji. You will have Paul
somebody.
Bearer. You will have Brother Love. You will have Teddy
Mm,
Biazzi. You will have all of them. So it will be really cool. So good for
Lamb.
Chelsea.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it
There's
will be
so many,
really
but
cool.
the one, and then before we get to the main event, this is the one thing earlier when I touched on about NXT. They created a new tag team, so to say, tonight. Again, we talked about the Broserweights, but Koshida's partner they announced. And I thought it was going to be Cameron Grimes. A lot of people did in the community just because they're feud and stuff. But Alex Shelley, which for the video game fans, the arcade goers, Time Splitters. I don't know if do you ever play Time Splitters, the arcade with the gun and shooting and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, of course.
So obviously, Koshida, he has the almost like the Back to the Future gimmick. Looks like Marty McFly and stuff. So
Mm,
the Time
mm,
Splitters, it all makes
mm,
sense, and
mm.
I'm really excited for this team. They go against the grizzled young veterans next week. So that I think they'll win that match. I don't think you're going to debut a tag team and then have them lose.
Yeah,
That's the one thing I wanted to tell you about, is how like they wrestled in Ring of Honor, New Japan. They feuded with the Undisputed Era in both promotions. That to me is going to be the upset, because you can't have Undisputed Era go to the finals of it and win the thing, or whatever. To me, I think they need to lose, and that would be a match. You could have the Time Splitters go against them, and then maybe whether it's Gallows or somebody, or maybe even Imperium, because they're going against them at Worlds Collide. Maybe Imperium causes them to lose, because what are you going to the final is aren't the finals of the Dusty Classic at Worlds Collide?
I think so. I think it's
So
gonna be
yeah,
at Worlds
because
Collide.
Undisputed Era and Imperium technically can't be there. Are they going to wrestle twice? Are
They
they going to
were.
make the fight? You know what I mean?
I don't think they will pull double duty. I
Yeah,
just
they,
don't
they
think
kind
they
of
will do
booked
that.
it. They booked it into a scenario where neither Imperium nor Undisputed Era is most likely going to be in the finals. So that's why I think, a team like this, that would be really cool. Again, for all the people who know the backstory and the history of these two teams, I would really love to see the Time Splitters get a win over Undisputed Era. And to me, that just skyrockets their stock. You
Yeah,
know,
like in a little bit more information about Alex Shelley. He was also in TNA, and
yeah,
he used to tag with Chris Haven.
yep,
At that time, I also like he was dating Velvet Sky, and these two were tag champions, and these two were like the beginning stages. For example, like Young Bucks. like
Mhm.
really high flying teams, springboard, all of those things, aerial moves. Like there was like Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin. They were all the ones that like started that. I will say that revolution of the new
Mhm.
tag teams that turned out to be into his massive creation in the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
So really, really cool to see Kushida and Alex Shelley coming back. I really enjoy that, and of course, Power of Love is a curious thing. So I really enjoy that movie also. So I really
Oh yeah.
understand the gimmick. Very cool, and we'll see. Like you said, I think that they're gonna put the upset with the Undisputed
Mhm.
Era.
Yeah.
I just
To
don't see
me,
them putting double duty. So probably
yeah.
these guys might go to the final.
Yeah, and I forget how the bracket's set up. I have to look at it. I could be, speaking like an idiot here, but I would love to see the two final teams be the Broserweights and the Time Splitters. I
That
would
would be nice.
love to see that because then to me that's like gravy. Any team that wins, I'd be happy with.
Yeah,
'Cause
it
I mean, I
becomes
would,
really
yeah,
good.
because if it's like the undisputed era, it's like as much as I love them, it's like how much can they win? Give it to somebody else. They don't need to win everything. And
Especially
and I
because they're
yeah
the champions.
yeah.
You have the belts. You're good. Let other teams get the spotlight. Don't be like the New Day that they win everything. Get these guys, get different guys into the mix. Because for example, let's say Kushida and Shelly win the Dusty Classic, right? See, that's
Mhm.
a team that like by winning this by default you become number one contender and you can go against the Undisputed Era for the titles now.
Yeah, like I said, that's a way to, that's what this is for. That's what things like this and the Royal Rumble are for. They're meant to take a team and sky or like a singles wrestler and
Promote,
skyrocket them. Yep.
promote, promote. Yeah, make new stuff. So before the main event that we're gonna have, we had a video package from Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa saying, "I need one opportunity. I need one chance. I need one chance to get my Goldie back. I know that like if you give me a chance for with Adam Cole for the title, it'll be my time. I'll get my Goldie back." So I think they're going back to this idea. So probably the main event is gonna be Adam Cole against Tommaso Ciampa at NXT Portland.
Yeah, and it was like a great, promo, showed all the things how he said I think it was 180 some days I think he said he was the champion
Yes.
and and I really like it like he said he didn't even lose. He hurt his neck and he had to give the belt up and he was like, those were the best 180 days or whatever of my life. He's like I look in the mirror and I don't even recognize the man I see anymore. All I like you said all he wants is Goldie given one opportunity, one shot. He's going to beat Adam Cole and just that was such an intense promo and a video package and that's like what I love so much from WWE. When they do these video packages, it's what really gets you hype
Oh
and
yeah.
really gets you, if you
When
weren't
Champa
already
was
hyped and excited, like these video packages will do it.
when Champa was talking, it reminded me a little bit of Lose Yourself because if we had one
Mhm.
shot,
Yep.
one opportunity, so I was like, okay, well, all right, all right. I see Marshall Matters, or do I
Yep.
see Tommaso Champa here? I'm like, also Eminem just wanted Goldie back, but
Yep.
anyway, main event time, Mr. Leeg, your boy Keith Lucius Lee against Dominic Dijakovic, Cameron Grimes, and Damian Priest.
Hmm.
Four mid cards. Okay, hear me
Yep.
out here. Open, listen up, class. Mid cards. This could easily be, main event for like the NXT Championship.
Hmm. These
All
guys
these
could. These
guys
guys. These
are
four
considered
guys.
mid card. Okay,
Yeah.
mid card, and
Yep.
they don't have the talent. They're over enough to be in the main event.
Yep. They're more talented. I would rather watch these four guys wrestle. Oh, like I'd rather see these guys feud over a freaking half a Subway sandwich and watch SmackDown. You know what I mean? Like these guys, they're considered the like you said the mid card in NXT technically, but they're way better than the main event on SmackDown, Raw, anything. So,
And that's what I mean.
and
Like
the one thing I will say, Keith Lee is my boy, but I don't know how I'm feeling the facial hair. I don't know. That's got to grow on me. I don't know how I feel about that yet.
you just talk to him. Just be like,
Yeah,
bro,
I'll be like, bro, what are you doing? Like, come on,
get
like,
this off, get
yeah,
this
yeah.
off.
I know you've been busy, but
Bask
you
in
got to
your
get
glory,
some. Yeah,
but bask on getting,
yeah,
shave and
yeah.
get it all out, my friend. Get it all out. So let's move on. Like I said, this match really, really intense. Damian Priest, his gimmick is so legit.
Mm-hmm.
His gimmick is very good. And like I said, Keith Lee over, more than anybody here. Dominic Dijakovic, we finally heard him talk. You can see the guy's intense. He wants a shot at the belt. He wants to be champion. He wants gold. It's 2020. New year, new decade. Let's do it. And of course, Cameron Grimes. Like he's been really good with the feud with Kushida, but I think because they had to move Kushida into the tag, into the Dusty Classic, I think they gonna stop that. So they
Mhm.
gave this guy a chance at to something different, and he did marvelous.
Oh
Great,
yeah,
great
and like
showing
to
for all these four guys.
yeah.
So let's go ahead and let's start the match. After a brutal battle, Kid Lee hit a superplex on Dijakovic, nailed it on the moonsault on Lee for a 2 count. Grimes nailed a super kick on Dominic and a German suplex for another 2 count. Grimes climbed to the top rope and Priest nailed a kick. Then he sent Grimes into Kid Lee's arms, preparing for a power bomb. He got down and Dijakovic landed a knee on Grimes, and Lee pounced Dijakovic out of the ring before Priest nearly got a fall on Lee. Priest and Dijakovic landed forearms and big kicks at the same time. Then they both got chokeholds. Keith Lee rose up and hit a double chokeslam to send them both outside. So far, great match, don't you think?
Mm. Oh my God, yeah. It,
Absolutely
like
outstanding.
again, it
So,
was like the Dusty Classic, the first match. All four of these guys were like shot out of a cannon, and it was just nonstop action.
oh yeah, same thing here. Like
Hmm.
let's go to like the final steps. Grimes nailed a moonsault to outside on Priest. Then Grimes hit a double stomp on the apron on Dijakovic. Then Grimes jumped up. It's all Grimes here. Grimes was like he was doing all the work. Then Grimes jumped off the top rope, ran into a massive double slap from Kid Lee. Then Lee nailed your favorite move
Yep.
in WWE, the Spirit Bomb on Grimes, and 1, 2, and 3. And Mr. Kid Lee becomes a number one contender for the North American Championship, and he will face Roderick Strong in 2 weeks.
And to
So, Jean
me,
Paul, your thoughts on this match?
it was a fantastic match. I mean, like Keith Lee. Now that he won this, I feel I'm taking him out of the Royal Rumble to win it. I don't think he's going to win it and go against the Brock Lesnar. I don't. He was. If you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, he was main roster bound. Now I think he's going to be in NXT. I think he needs to win the North American Championship. It's finally time for him to get gold, and this might be the start to be the downfall of the Undisputed Era. Maybe first with Roderick Strong, then Adam Cole. Who's to say that Undisputed Era don't lose the tag belts? Now, the only thing that scares me with that is if they lose their gold, maybe does that mean they're main roster bound? I don't know. But, I was fine with the winner of this match. Obviously, all four of these dudes are legit, and I would love to see if Keith Lee won it because I feel a few down the line to have Keith Lee lose it is against Dijakovic. Dijakovic is a guy who also deserves gold, and like Jean Paul loves to do his long term booking.
That's right.
That's the feud that I would do, and because Dijakovic, like I said, he deserves gold as well. And we've seen their matches have been so legit. It reminds me of like a Mysterio Andrade. Like I could watch these guys wrestle forever. Yeah, sometimes you see the same spots in each match, but it's so legit, it's so good, it's so enjoyable that you don't even mind because both guys they just they gel so well. But
Yeah, like
there was one spot because it was all three of these dudes in this match are giants, and then you have Cameron Grimes who he's like a little guy comparative to these other guys, and he
yeah,
hit some Keith Lee hit the ropes and was charging at Grimes, and it looked almost like a power slam, but it was like an inverted power slam. It looks like Lee would have been the one doing the power slam, but Grimes was like flipped him like completely inside out. And I was like, I mean, obviously that's the same thing, kind of like a Canadian destroyer where your opponent is actually doing all the work, but it just looks so cool. And like everybody, like you said, it was a lot of the match was all Cameron Grimes. And it
yeah,
was a
yeah.
really good showing for him. Even though he was the one who got pinned, he still looked how legit. In the land of the giants, he almost won the thing.
And also, if you think about it, like since he do all the work, who was the one that was more got stabbed? It
Hmm.
was him. So
Yeah.
that makes more sense if you put it in a logical order, the events in a chronological order. Like he did all the work, he's gassed out. Of course, he's going to take the pin because he's the
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
that is
Yeah,
most tired
exactly.
out of all of them. So yeah, I agree with you. The whole match was absolutely outstanding. The man that like needed to win won the match just because Kid Lee deserves a main event spot. I think if they
Oh,
don't want to
absolutely.
send him to the main roster, hopefully they don't because they're
Hmm.
gonna kill this guy, kill his momentum. He's gonna become very regular. He's gonna
Hmm.
become simple again, ordinary. Like and not the ordinary that does extraordinary thing. No, he's gonna just
Hmm.
become ordinary, plain. So
Yep.
he wins. He's still enjoying his glory. He's still basking out of that. And I feel that like it's going to be a great match with Roderick Strong. Maybe a title switch will be necessary. So that way we'll see. Like you said, maybe the downfall of the Undisputed Era on 2020. I think it's not going to be the year of the Undisputed Era. I think it's going to be the year that the Undisputed Era will be breaking off because it's
Yeah.
time. I think it's been, this year like the completely wide, swept the awards of the NXT in the for 2019. So I think it's time to different things to spread out and branch off to different things,
Hmm.
and hopefully this is the beginning of that.
Oh yeah, I agree. Like I said, I don't want to see the Undisputed Era just lose and be a bunch of losers and not do anything. But at the same time, because they've been built up so strong, that's how you make new stars by them putting people over. Keith Lee winning, Champa getting his belt back. And or maybe Adam Cole wins. Maybe it's Gargano who gets it. I don't know. There's just so much, but I don't think it's like you said. I don't think 2020. I don't think come December of this year, I don't think it's going to again be the year of the Undisputed Era. I think we're
No,
going to
I
see,
think it will be
yeah,
way too much. So
yeah,
yeah, our prediction. I remember when we started doing the show that we said that wouldn't it be cool to see Undisputed Era holding all the titles.
hmm,
Okay, we've seen that. So now it's time to see different things. So
exactly.
yeah, and well, we're just. I think any closing thoughts, John Paul?
No,
Anything?
just I mean, just to compare them, NXT, they I think were in the 700 some thousands for the ratings. AEW was 9.4 hundred thousand, so they were like almost at a million again. So they had a really good showing for their ratings this week. But I feel next week, it's going to be flipped. I think
Yeah,
NXT is going to have more because they had a fantastic show. Obviously, NXT show, the last, they had the awards and the Christmas episode wasn't anything too crazy. Now NXT, they're building towards Portland. They're doing all this stuff. AEW, again, time management, women's division is at an awful state right now. So I think AEW is doing great, but NXT, they're doing fantastic as well. So again, another great night of professional wrestling.
another great night of the Wednesday Night Wars. Like when it comes to AEW, the first hours was confusing at times. I want to shout out also Ryan Clark from E-Wrestling News. We were talking on yesterday while we were tweeting and stuff. I want to say he was telling me, yeah, like the first hour was very confusing, like you said in your review, Jean Paul. The first match was not too well. Like, a lot of people enjoyed it, but to me, it was Lappy, Omega, and Adam Hanman Page against Private Party,
Mm,
and the women's match was really really sloppy.
yeah.
They should have been. I mean, I would have put the title on Chris Statlander just because she's way better than Riho, but
Mm,
they didn't pull the trigger yet. And also, like I did not appreciate Brandy on commentary. It actually took
mm,
away from me like
yeah.
fans because she was actually she was beefing with Excalibur. She was
Yeah.
just talking about, oh, like, do you wear the mask? Do you shower with the mask? And like, well, I'm
Yeah.
a lucha libre. I gotta take it off. I'm like, can you focus on the match? And
Yeah.
once again, to me, the audio was giving me a lot of issues. So that is something that hopefully they can manage because the second hour was also enjoyable. We got
Mm,
to see it's
mm,
me. So that was really cool. I enjoyed that. But
DDP.
yeah, I enjoyed that, and we want to wish John Paul best of luck for tomorrow. He's gonna be taking care of some new endeavors. So we want to wish him the best. And social media, John Paul, where they can find us.
Well, they got it all, they're right on the screen here. But we have, the Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, the original Rope Break Instagram. And if you're seeing it the whole video, so you better go follow us on all those platforms.
Please, we have all it right there for you. Is it right
Mm.
there in all this beautiful layout that we have? And we want to thank you to every single one of you once again for spending some time with us. So we'll be back. We have a whole weekend. We're always busy. Wrestling never stops. So we gotta just keep up with it. We're trying to do our best. So in the name
Exactly.
of Jean Paul and myself, we both want to say.
Ah, da.